first to Bo Dorr with USA Today.
Oh, thanks very much. Question for Shane. I understand that you've been sort of really focusing on the training right now, limiting your interviews and your outside activities. Was there a particular reason for this fight why you chose to do that?
Just because from in the past, a lot of media outlets had my personal number, and I just wanted them to go through the right areas through the UFC and stuff. And I haven't denied any. It's just that I can't answer my phone every day to somebody else in the media and give them the interviews when I'm trying to train and be with family and get things done in my life. So it hasn't been necessarily that I've turned any of the media away. It's just make sure that they go through the proper outlets.
Okay, and so it hasn't been so much of amount of time spent as it is sort of being in control of the time that you spend?
Yeah, just to make sure everything's scheduled and I'm not getting random calls, throughout the day.
All right, thanks. And one for Brock. And I haven't seen the countdown show or anything yet, but from what it seems, there's certainly a little bit less animosity in this matchup with Shane than there was going into fighting Frank. Does that change your approach at all, or does it change your mindset at all?
No, I'm still the angry SOB I always been. Nothing changes at all for me. It'll be a year since I stepped foot in the octagon, and I don't really have a lot to talk about. There's no animosity against Shane other than he's an opponent in front of me that, just an obstacle that I got to overcome. Like I overcame, my diverticulitis and life proposes different challenges and the great champions, they rise to the occasion. And that's me.
All right, thanks a lot.
We'll go next to Lance Pugmire with the Los Angeles Times.
How you guys doing today? Thank you for being on here. Brock, I just wanted to ask you, when did you know that you were back in fighting shape? I mean, how long after the last time we've talked to you did you feel like, okay, I'm good to go?
Well, as soon as I got the green light January 5th from the Mayo Clinic that said, go ahead, I've pretty much been training since January. And, I knew that I had some obstacles in front of me. I didn't know who it was yet, but it was just a weird time because when I pulled out of the fight last October, I waited till the very last minute, until I realized that, one morning I couldn't get out of bed to go and train. So I had to pull the pin on that, but ever since then, I didn't even know if I was going to fight again. From November or October through January, everything was kind of up in the air. So this is kind of my second coming. It's brought a lot of life into me and into my training camp, and just excited to be a part of this once again.
Have you had to train differently at all? Has it had to be more intense or less intense, or what have you done to, get yourself back to where you were, a year ago plus?
Well, I think the setback for me actually has been a good thing because it allowed me to sit back and really focus on my diet, the way I trained. I brought some different things to the table. I brought I got a new strength and conditioning coach. I brought in Peter Welch, a new boxing coach that I've been working with since January, and we kind of just, when I pulled the pin on this fight last October, I really regrouped and kind of rejuvenated myself. So I took a new approach on it as far as training and everything, and it's been very refreshing and I really came leaps and bounds. It's been a great thing. I'm excited to fight.
Right. And I had one more question for you. I know you've got a lot on your plate planning for July 3rd, but are you going to sit down this Saturday and watch the Fedor fight?
I didn't even know he was fighting.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
We'll go next to Neil Davidson with the Canadian Press.
Thank you. Brock, you kind of touched on this a little bit with your last answer, but given what you've gone through the last year or so, I wonder if it changes your outlook on life in general, not just to fighting. Have things changed in your life because of what you've gone through?
Yeah, I laid in a hospital bed for over 2 weeks without any food in my body. I couldn't put any food in my mouth. I lost 42 pounds at that time. The doctors didn't want my stomach to do any work, so they fed me intravenously. I had 2 PICC lines, one in my right arm and one in my left. And to wake up every day, to being on all them drugs and not being able to put any food in your mouth, you definitely take a different approach on life. You realize that there's nothing more important in life than your family, and you really find out who your friends are, when you're laying. I felt like I was on my deathbed. I really did, because I was very sick. This illness, it kills a lot of people. And it's one of those things that I never even knew I had, So at the time, I wasn't sure if I really wanted to fight again. It was, everything was in the air, because I'd lost so much weight. I thought I was going to have a major surgery and have all of my colon removed, and that would have been a 2-year process for me to even come back on. So I really feel like I'm a cat with 9 lives. I think I got about 8 left.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks.
Your next question comes from Myron Medcalf with Star Tribune.
How you doing, Brock?
Great.
Can you just talk about your reasons for bringing in a new strength and conditioning coach and a new boxing coach? Was that specifically for Shane, or can you talk about your reasons for doing that?
Just to evolve, things are getting a little stagnant. Just to change things up and take a new approach on how can I become better? How can I get better? You got to go back to the drawing board. I really went back to the drawing board on life. When I was sick, I had to focus on a lot of different things. My life first and my family and all these other things. And when I finally got down and decided that I was gonna, that I could fight and continue this legacy, I thought, what, I got to make some changes. I want to get better. When I come back, I want to be in greater shape. I want to be, I want to be a better fighter. And so that was the main reason for the changes.
And then for Shane, what are some of the things you've been working on in preparation for this fight?
I just tend to, throughout my training camps and even when I'm not in training camp and I'm working with other guys, is just to become a better fighter in all areas of the game. I have a lot of areas that I feel like I've just scratched the surface, and I can become that much better of a fighter in boxing and kickboxing and jiu-jitsu and even my wrestling.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Dave Dybert with Canvas News Service.
Hey guys, just first one for each of you. Normally, it's the other guy who's trying to prepare for someone with the size and wrestling background that both of you guys have. Has it been a challenge? I guess a new challenge, if you could touch on it, preparing for someone. When you look at each other, to a certain extent, you're looking in the mirror a little bit. Shane, if you could maybe touch on that first.
Brock's a big, talented, athletic heavyweight, and those are rare to find. And fortunate enough to have a couple of those around, and to be able to work with those guys, and those are the ones that push you to the limits, and that's why this is going to be such a great fight. Is when two great big heavyweights that are athletic and believe in themselves get in there, and they each know that they're going to win. These are the great fights, and these are the ones that you remember.